Hi, I'm Ingo from Roast Rebels, and today I have a very special guest. Erhan Dizbay is here. He is a specialty coffee trainer, a barista. He has participated in many championships. He loves silver, silver medals. And also a couple of days ago, he won the silver medal in the German Barista Championship. And he used the Kaffelogic Nano for that. We are going to talk about the machine also. But first of all, we are talking about the barista machine. Hello, Erhan. Nice to have you.
Hey, nice to be here. Thanks, Ingo.
Tell me a little bit about the whole competition scene, because this is something that a lot of people here don't really know or understand, that there are coffee competitions. Can you tell me a little bit, at the example of a barista championship, what is happening there and what is important at the barista championship?
Sure. Yeah, many people, as you said, they don't know. When I'm telling them, hey, I was competing, they're like, oh, there's a competition about coffee? Yes, there is. There are different kind of disciplines, actually. One of them is the Barista Championship. Basically, you have 15 minutes, and in 15 minutes, you need to serve 4 espresso, 4 milk beverage, and 4 signature drink. And in that time, you need to also convince the judges about your professionalism and, of course, about the sensory quality of your coffee. Why you think that this coffee is one of the best coffees which were produced this year. So pretty tough 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it can be sometimes the shortest 15 minutes of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, there you have a lot to do. At the same time, you have to talk about the coffee, you have to prepare it perfectly, it all must look nice, you have different kind of beverages. So you said you have espresso, a milk beverage, and a signature drink.
That's right, exactly. Basically, you start like introducing yourself. It's always good to connect with the judges. You got 4 sensory judges which are going to taste your coffee, and 2 technical judges who is going to check if you are working very well and if you are doing any mistakes and if there are any differences while you are making the coffee
Yeah.
between the two and the other two
Yeah.
espresso, which is very critical. If you do any mistake, which will result in the cup, in the taste, and then you need to, of course, explain where the coffee comes from, how it tastes like, how it was processed, and how it was roasted,
Yeah.
and why did you choose all those qualities actually, and why did you choose this coffee,
Yeah.
and why did you choose the roast profile,
Yeah.
and any kind of information actually about the coffee.
Can you tell me about the coffee that you've chosen at these championships? What it
Yeah,
tasted like, why you've chosen it?
for sure. It was a geisha variety from Colombia, Huila. It was from Rodriguez Sanchez Valencia, well recognized worldwide producer, actually. The coffee is basically a geisha variety, as I said, and Gold Grand Cru is the processing. It's the experimental processing from Rodriguez Sanchez Valencia. Yeah, all the cherries, they were handpicked actually. First, he fermented in grain pro bags
Yeah.
for like 12 hours.
Yes.
After he took it out, he pulped it, and then the cherries made their way into the tank and ferment another 48 hours in an anaerobic environment. After they were removed from the tank,
Yeah.
and then fully washed and left to dry in a solar dryer, which you can control actually the drying process.
Okay.
So you have evenly dried beans, which is very critical, of course, when you are roasting.
Yes.
So you can roast all the beans evenly.
Yeah. That's important to have a consistent cup then.
Exactly.
And now, often or usually, competitors are going to a championship with a roasted coffee that they got from a roastery or they're sponsored by a roastery. But you decided to roast your own coffee. Why did you decide to do this?
Well, it is basically actually very simple. You wanna get connected with the coffee. So you see also a lot of baristas at the World Barista Championship or in the national levels, going to the origin, choosing their coffee over there, taking it to their country, and even they roast it by themselves. So those coffees we are using at the Barista Championships are pretty, if I may say, pretty expensive coffees, and they are micro lots. So you have really a certain amount of coffee produced this year.
Yeah.
So as I wanted to connect with the coffee more, I wanted to also roast it by myself. And as I had limited coffee, for me it was the best option actually to roast it also on a smaller batch, which you have also more control as it is smaller.
Yeah.
The bigger batch, you need to control more
Yeah.
particles and more beans.
Yeah.
And if you do any mistake, which is very normal because
Yeah.
we are all human being,
Yeah.
it could result for a expensive
Yeah.
result. And with Kaffelogic, it was pretty consistent.
Yes.
And each batch, it was like exactly on
The same.
point.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
that was, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
It made my life just easier.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, because this is something some people think that roasting yourself will bring in a lot of complexity, but you say now it made your life quite easy because you had consistent batches. You had small batches that you could roast. You had fresh coffee. Why did you decide for this machine? How did you come up with the idea to roast on the Kaffelogic Nano?
Well, actually, I have seen already Kaffelogic on social media going and coming.
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't really had experience. A friend of mine, Niels, which was, I guess, 2016 or 17 cup tasters, second place at the world cup tasters championship, and it was an advice and recommendation. Hey, you should definitely try and use it. And
Yeah.
I got a unit, and I was just like positively very surprised how consistent it was. And of course, you don't want to really mess up with your coffee, which you have very limited, and you want to do small batches. So you try different profiles.
Yeah.
And as the Kaffelogic Nano is coming with some standard profiles, you can also take those profiles and do a small fine tuning.
Yeah.
Because every coffee needs a different roast profile, and at the end, it's also what you want to showcase of the coffee.
Yeah.
And you want to unlock actually the potential of the coffee.
Yeah.
And that was for me very easily made actually.
Okay, interesting. This sounds, I mean, if you're telling me this, then it sounds like you've been working for a year with the machine and trying and trigger and finding the right profiles. But at the end, what happened was I got a call from Wayne from Kaffelogic who told me Erhan would like to have a machine. I sent you the machine, and I think it arrived about 5 or 6 days before the championship. So you literally was just taking the coffee, roasting it, leaving it for 5 days, and went to the championships.
Exactly. I mean, all I had to do, it was just like fine tuning.
Yes.
And then just after that, I decided a roasting profile.
Yeah.
Thanks to Niels again, he also shared his experience because he has been already working for a while with Kaffelogic Nano, and it was very easy. Just like on my laptop, I could just like do some fine tuning.
Yes.
And as the attitude of my city where I am based is different, and of course the temperature and the humidity than his, and I had pretty perfect result actually after that.
Wow. Okay. Are there anything that you particularly like about these machines, or anything you can recommend other people about the machine?
Well, Many things actually. First, it is very like pretty light.
Yeah.
Just like you can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
If you are going to do an origin trip
Yes.
or you're going for a coffee sourcing, you can just take it with you.
Yeah.
It's pretty consistent. You can connect it to your laptop. It's very simple made. There are already standard profiles which were made actually by well-recognized roasters,
Yeah.
and all you need to do is actually like play a little bit with.
Yeah.
It is very easy. There are only like 4 or 5 buttons. Let me
Yeah.
check. Exactly 5 buttons.
Yeah.
And you can just like roast it very easily for yourself at home, anywhere actually, wherever you are.
Yeah.
All you need is some electricity.
So you said it's also perfect for origin trips, and you also are going to take it with you in order to find some green coffees.
Exactly. Next month I'm leaving to Kenya, and I will be taking it with me.
Yeah.
I will do an origin trip, and that will give me the opportunity to just like roast there,
Yeah.
and then also taste the coffee at the origin.
Yeah.
So for my next competitions, I'm actually looking for some coffee. So it will be very easy for me to just like roast it there and taste it immediately.
Immediately. So what's your opinion on this ready-to-drink option that the machine offers?
First, to be honest, I guess as a human being, I was just a little bit skeptic. Like
anyone?
well, is it going to be? After trying, I was pretty surprised how the result turned really positively.
Yes.
So that was also one featuring I was using while I was actually working on the profile of my competition coffee. It was very easy for me to roast few different profiles and then decide. As I had only a short time, a short notice for the competition date, so that made my life just like very easy, and it took a lot of stress out of my shoulders actually.
Yeah, to me it was about the same, like you say, because when I heard about this ready to drink, I thought, well, I mean, is it really going to work? But it's really working pretty nice, and it's perfect and also for evaluating greens, you know, if you're doing cuppings and all that. So that's really convenient then to do with the machine.
As I'm also an authorized specialty coffee trainer, it is just perfect just to roast over there right at the training, and then also let the students to taste it. So it is an extra it's an extra experience for the students to see how it's going to be roasted. And if you're gonna do some changes in the profile, how it will reflect in the cup. So that's just like amazing. And even for my competitions, I didn't want to risk it as I didn't really have time to experiment with that. I choose the standard roasting and not the ready to drink. And after 5 days, it was degassed and it was pretty clean, and it's really perfect cup of coffee.
Thanks a lot for sharing all this information, Erhan.
Thank you for having me here.
And if people want to know more about you, can you tell what are you offering and where can they find contacts about you?
Of course. Well, I'm authorized specialty coffee trainer and competitor. As you said, silver is just like my thing. The last 4 years, second place, proudly. And well, you can check my website, www.erhandizbay.com. I'm offering at that moment Specialty Coffee Association coffee skills program, which is barista skills, brewing skills, and the roasting skills. And very soon I will be adding 2 more classes, which is going to be the SCA green coffee and sensory.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Erhan.
Thank you.
So yeah, I really recommend you to contact Erhan if you're looking for a training or if you have questions about Championships or whatever. And if you have any questions about the machines, how they're working, about home roasting, or about green coffees, then you can also come back to me. You find my contact on roastrebels.com. Thank you, Erhan.
Thank you, Ingo. It was nice.